Hi guys, welcome to Suero TV. I'm Rota Akpata, your usual host with the most. Remember, our show is actually about personal finances. It's about us learning different ways of building wealth, debt management, and a whole lot, anything around our personal finance that affects our money. But today we actually have a guest with us, a very special guest with us. I can't wait for you to actually meet her and hear what she's got to say for us today. Her name is Sethebe Manake. Sethebe is actually the CEO of Vantage Properties. She's a visionary and a driver of automated property valuation information and online platform Gosmartvalue. That's the name of it. And Sethebe is going to actually talk to us about property today. I want us to talk about how to buy a property, guys. What's the first step when you want to buy a property? Where do you start? Should you rent? Should you buy? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome to the show, Sethebe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Sethebe, can you just give us a bit of a background about yourself and how you started this company? But first, is Sethebe married? Does Sethebe have a family? Let's talk about that first.
Okay, Sethebe is married. I come from Suero originally, but now get married. I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And they are school going and very nice kids.
That's nice. I think daughters are actually a lot more manageable than boys, to be honest.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my personality would work well with sons.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I think many women, actually mommy's are mommy's babies.
Yes. And then my daughters took all my personality, so it's a problem in the household.
So sorry to hear that. All right, now let's talk about how you built your business and why a property business.
Well, for me, it really comes from the passion that I have.
Yeah.
And my passion is really to have the ordinary man build and take advantage of the resource that we have. The one resource that we have in this country, that we have in Africa, is land. And over my learnings as a student in property studies, I just realized how much Black people or Africans or Motswana in particular are not leveraging off the most from real estate.
Yeah.
So for me, setting up the company was about, as much as possible, giving people information for them to be able to get the most out of their real estate asset, and understanding how to use it, understanding the tools, understanding why it should be done that particular way, so that you can get the most benefit out of it.
Oh, so I would like us to start with buying property.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to buy property. What are the steps that one to follow?
Well, starting off, the most important thing is to identify why you want to buy a property. People buy properties for different reasons. It could be for your home, it could be for investment purposes, and it could be as part of your business. So the reason why you're buying a property is the most important thing to establish, but also it's the first thing that then guides how you're going to go about it. So let's start with you're buying the property as your home. If you're buying it as your home, the key thing is you know what kind of life you want to live, where do you want to live, where, if you're about raising a family, where do you want your kids to go to school? So you think about those things and the amenities and all of that, and generally you start looking in the areas that will give you that benefit as your home, right? So there, it's really about finding a property that meets your requirements. But if you're buying a property for investment, then the conversation changes completely.
I actually wanted you to touch on that, if you're buying property for your home, it's just a roof over your head. It's not an investment. I think that's the main understanding that we actually need to get to. So now let's talk about the cost. Now you have figured out, okay, I want to buy a property for my family. Okay?
Yeah.
What's the first step? You figured out what you want.
Once you figured out what you want, it's the first step is for you to identify how much you can afford. right?
How do you do that?
Before you start searching. Normally, if you're going to get housing finance from a financial institution, they are looking at an RTI, and that's the ratio between your gross salary versus how much you're supposed to be able to pay in terms of your mortgage.
Yeah.
So they're looking at least 30 to sometimes about 50, 55%, somewhere there, but that's a bit of a stretch. But for you to be safe, keep it at 30%. So you start there with, if it's 30% of your gross salary as your mortgage, then you find out, okay, how much is this going to afford me? How much will the bank finance me? And this then speaks to the interest rates that they're charging, the term that they're going to give you. So that speaks to also your age. Can you take a 25-year mortgage? Can you take a 30-year mortgage? And that's generally how then they will be able to tell you how much you are able to afford. Is it 750? Is it 1.2? Is it 3 million?
Yeah.
Whichever way. So you start there. Once you've identified that, then you can start looking in locations that have that kind of price range.
Yeah.
Right? And you really need to look hard. You need to do a lot of shopping so that you really are also able to train your eye to see the things that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've identified the features that you need to take advantage of, then you need to learn how to negotiate.
Yeah.
So don't buy the first house you see. Don't take the first offer. The fact that the bank is able to give you 2 million doesn't mean you should buy a 2 million house.
Yeah, you can get 1.5.
If you can get 1.5, get 1.5. So you need to negotiate that. Even if it's for your own home, hey, value needs to be worth something to you, right? So you need to start, you go for you go for the shopping and all of that, and eventually you'll find the one that you find, you negotiate it to the price that meets your requirements. And then what normally happens is you start your application process with the bank.
With the bank,
yeah. So the application process will then require your valuation. They will then look for your payslip. They will look for the offer letter.
Ah, I see. But you know, I want us to actually go for a break, and then we can actually get back to that. What does the bank want?
Sure.
Well, yeah, we can. Okay, guys, so we're going for a break. We'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. We're continuing with the conversation with Sethebe Manake. Remember, she's here to tell us about property. How can we actually buy property and just get an understanding with that? Yes, Sethebe, you were actually talking about we're at the bank. We already know how much we can afford, the application process. Take us through that.
Yeah, so they need, so the bank, obviously when you submit for your loan, there's certain documents that you need to submit. Key standard things would start with your ID, your proof of income, is it your salary slip, and if you bank in another bank and you're looking for funding elsewhere, it's bank statements.
Yeah.
But the ones that are specific to your property would be your valuation.
Yeah.
It would be your offer letter.
Yeah.
It would be, sometimes they do ask for a structural report, simply because the property is already built, so they need clarity on its structural integrity.
Yeah.
And once they then do the assessment based on that, the value of the property, normally they would finance between, this is where the ranges change, where they say we'll finance 70% of the property, we'll finance 95%, we'll finance 105%. That's where now the valuation comes into play, because the 105%, it's not necessarily on the sale price, it's on the valuation. So if your sale price is above the valuation, then you might have a bit of a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about the deposits.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, let's say you get there and you find out, no, deposit is it's 300,000.
Yeah.
You don't have 300,000 right now. What do you advise?
I like for people to consider that the deposit is not for the bank. The deposit is for you. And that means that look, the higher the loan you take, the more you're going to pay off later.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
if your intention is to buy a property, then you need to plan for it, and this is why you need to save for your deposit.
Yeah.
And if you have already gone through the process of identifying how much the bank will finance you, then you need to start saving for the deposit that is 30% of what the bank says they'll finance you.
Yeah.
Not only is that good for your ability to pay back the loan and the pricing of the loan and all of that, it's also good for incidental costs that
Yeah.
come with trying to purchase a property. You're going to pay for transfer duty, you're going to pay for conveyancing, you're going to pay for valuations.
Yes.
These structural reports are things you
Yeah.
pay for.
Yeah.
So you really need to have saved for you to be able to cater for all of these expenses. Otherwise, you might end up paying if you're, let's say for argument's sake, the bank says, no, we'll pay 105%. And normally when they say 105%, the 5% is for all of these other incidental expenses that come through.
Yeah.
So in that case, when the house is 1.5 million, you are now taking a loan for how much?
Yeah. So it's
You're
that
now
extra 5%.
yes,
Ah.
you're now taking a loan that's much higher than the actual value of the property.
So it is a catch.
Definitely,
There's
there's
always
always
a
a
catch,
catch.
yeah.
I mean, we always need to understand that at the end of the day, the job or the role of a bank is to lend you money.
Yeah.
That's their business.
That's their business.
Yeah, their business
They're very
is
happy to do this.
happy to give you a loan.
Yeah.
The business is not necessarily making sure that you are comfortable
Yeah.
and you are surviving, you are living the life you want to live, you are building wealth. That's not
Yeah.
generally what their business is. Yes, they promote sustainable finance and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to
Yeah.
look at yourself and make sure that whatever facility you get, it doesn't at the end of the day choke you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I want us to talk about the valuation of property in Botswana. We generally feel like it's overvalued.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your opinion on this?
We need to understand what a valuation is, and this is something that I think we've had plenty of conversations over the years around this.
Yeah.
A valuation is simply an estimate of how much people are buying properties at the moment that are similar to yours. So it's
always in the demand.
it's an estimate of price. If you put this property in the market, this is how much it should go for.
Yeah.
And the basis of, especially for houses, so how you value a house or residential property is different from how you value an income earning property or a
Yeah.
commercial property.
Yeah.
The methods are different. But for a residential property, it's usually determined by comparable sales that have happened recently in the same location of the similar type of properties. So if one perceives that property prices are going up, it's because people are not negotiating. And valuers cannot find sales comparables that justify a fall if you are actually buying at higher prices.
Yeah, at the prices
So
that they
if you
offered
want
you
prices to go down, you
Negotiate.
negotiate down.
This is actually a very good point, because I think we didn't know this. Many people don't know this, that you can negotiate. And another thing as well is you can also negotiate the interest rates with the bank as well. When you're actually borrowing, you are free to negotiate that as well. So I think this is very valuable information. So we need to negotiate. Let's bring the prices down by negotiating.
Exactly, you negotiate. And the thing is, because we buy out of excitement or desperation, these two emotions remove logic all the time. Whenever somebody says, I'm not gonna sell you at this price, and then move away from you, then you are desperate. Oh my God, I'm going to lose the house that I want. There's nothing. It's part of negotiation.
Yeah,
you can also say, listen, okay, fine, go. I'll look for another house. There's plenty of houses that are up for sale.
All right, we're going to go for a break. This is actually kind of good one. We're going to continue with that, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So we were talking about the negotiation, like negotiate the prices, guys. So the property agent, we'll also need to touch on the property agent.
Yeah.
But let's say you're using a property a company or property firm to buy, and they're saying this house is going for 2.5 million. Negotiate, guys. If you guys feel, especially us in Botswana, I think we really feel like prices are overvalued. But guys, if we're buying, what Sethebe is saying is, if we're buying the property at the offer price, they are gonna be continuously be sold at that price. So let's negotiate. Let's get the art of negotiation in there. Sethebe, let's negotiate. I want you. I want you to teach us how to do this. Okay, I'm offering you the property. You are the buyer. Okay?
Yeah.
I am
So
offering you. How does one negotiate? Where does one start?
So the reason why at the beginning in your process I said you need to teach your eyes how to see stuff is for you to be able to see what you value the most and what you don't value the most, and then hear what the properties are going for and all of that. Like, so for instance, when you go through a house and you don't like the tiles, right? It's vinyl tiles as opposed to it being ceramic tiles. And then somebody says, okay, fine, this is how much it is. You say, no, but listen, you're selling this property like the finishings that the finishings are top notch, and they're not. This is an old type of thing, and I'll probably have to remove these tiles and put new ones, right?
That's where you start.
You start with things like that, like you find cracks that you need to fix. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. You're negotiating.
Yeah, it's your art of a negotiation.
Yes, and also the more you get to see different properties, you get to compare. You're able to compare. Yes, this is a nice house, but I'm not really sold on it. I'm not willing to pay that amount of money. It's not that, because it's really, is it worth that much to you? Right?
You need to feel right. You need to feel
yes,
right.
No, I'm not prepared to pay. I'm not prepared to pay 1.5 million. At most, maybe I'll do
so do
1
this
million.
to the doors,
Yes.
It's not quality.
No, but also,
like
it's really not about devaluing the construction of the property. It's about, does it suit you? Do you think it's
the quality?
And then this is a disadvantage for me. That's what negotiation is. When you negotiate to buy a bag in the market, that's what you say. It's nice, but it's not so nice. It's not that nice. It's not that price nice. So that kind of thing. So you negotiate like that. Also, you need to create some level of empathy, right? Don't come in first saying, okay, no, the bank is going to give me 2 million. No. When the bank has said, we'll give you 2 million, say the bank is only going to give me 1.2.
Even if they'll give you 2 million.
It doesn't matter.
You don't have to get the 2 million.
Yes.
So that you can pay less anyway.
Say to your agent that, say that to the seller, listen, I really like this house, but the bank is only going to give me 1.2.
Yeah, this is what
and then maybe they'll come down from 2 million and say, okay, maybe 1.5. And you're like, but guys, where am I going to get the rest of the money after this? I'm going to do transfer fees. I'm going to do what? And I'm only getting 1.2 million. So I need all of these things to be inside this price.
No, absolutely. That actually makes a lot of sense.
A lot of people are going to kill me after this. It will
be all right.
That's how you negotiate.
Buying or renting. Okay. Let's talk about the balance between the two, because sometimes you get where you want to buy property, but you can't afford it right now.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where somebody says to you, you are paying 7,000. 7,000 should be going towards mortgage. Let's advise on this, because I think this pressure of putting people to buy, and and sometimes you actually just want to buy rental property versus owning. Maybe you want to invest in that for now and rent in the meantime.
Exactly.
So let's discuss that, so that the pressure just eases down. Yeah.
I think we need to completely remove the pressure from especially young professionals and forcing them to buy homes. It's absolutely unnecessary. So if you want to live in a house and it gives you the amenities that you want, and you're not ready for a major commitment, don't do it, right? So for me, I always say, as your first property, let it be an investment property. Let it be a property that's able to generate income for you. Because from your income property, you're able to buy the next property, you're able to finance your car, you're able to do other things with that income property. If your first property purchase is your home, your commitment is high, because it's an emotional buy. Your home is an emotional buy, right? You're buying it because, the garden is so beautiful and all of that. You can't monetize that kind of stuff,
that's true.
at the end of the day. So if you're buying, if your first buy is an investment property, it sets you up better in life. Yeah. So if you're looking for low-income housing that's generating income, that's better. Instead of going into your dream house first because you're locking yourself into a 25-year mortgage and all of that. And at the beginning of your career, you're really squeezing yourself into this big commitment. You're still going to go, you're going to get promotions, you're going to discover what your passions are. You don't need that commitment from the very beginning. You need to buy a property that is able to release you from
there,
this commitment. That's able to add value to you.
Absolutely. So that should be your first buy.
Yes, your first buy should be an investment property. And then secondly, people need to understand that there's cycles. Property, just like an economy, there's cycles. It goes up and down. And sometimes it is best to buy, or it's cheaper to buy a property, and sometimes it's cheaper to rent a property. But the key thing is you need to understand and take responsibility for your own financial position and be honest about what you want to achieve. Be honest to yourself about what you want to achieve, especially with housing. I mean, if I was starting my career now, I wouldn't buy a house.
Yes, no, absolutely. So, Sethebe, we're coming to the end of our interview. I'm hoping we're going to have another one and just continue on this conversation. This is actually amazing insight that you're going in. Sethebe, I would like you to talk more about your business so that you can actually just tell the viewer what you do. What can you do for them?
No, great. So Vantage Properties is a property information company. So we do a lot of market research and we provide advisory services. So earlier we were talking about our platform. We have a platform called Gosmartvalue.com and it's an automated property valuation platform. So that means when you're shopping around, you can actually do an automated valuation that's going to tell you how much this property should be sold at.
Amazing.
And then you can also use that for negotiation.
Yes.
And it's a lot cheaper than a traditional valuation with which is a cost that you need to incur when you have now closed your deal and you are now going in for financing. So this helps you to get a quick response quickly. On the platform also we provide sort of market insights for people. So if you're looking at a particular location, G West, Block 5, whatever it is that you're looking into, you can be able to look at a report that tells you this is how, in the last 12 months, prices were going like this. This is how people were buying. So you get in there understanding, okay, if I want to live in Block 5, if I want to live in Pakalani, these are the prices that I should be expecting to see, so that you don't end up negotiating at the upper side of the market while everybody else is down the side. So those reports exist on the platform, and essentially when somebody subscribes on the platform, they also get free consulting. So as and when they want to do any kind of property endeavor, they can book and have a conversation and can guide them.
All right, so what's the website?
It's Gosmartvalue.com.
All right, thank you so much, Sethebe. It's such a pleasure having you here. You shared valuable information. We'll definitely have you back here.
Thank you so much. I'll be very happy to come back.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye for now.